Well, it's about 6:30. Sun hasn't risen yet. We're on the western side of the country, so the sun takes a bit longer to come up here. It was a little bit chilly last night, but really not too bad. Considering we're up here in the mountains, I really do think this is the perfect time of year. April. If you come any earlier, it can be really hot in the day. If you come any later, it can be freezing at night. So yeah, I think we chose a good time. The plan today is to travel somewhere where, well, you'll know where it is, but Nicole doesn't know yet. It's a bit of a secret. I don't know how long it's going to take to get there, so we're going to try and pack up here relatively quickly and sort of get on the road as quickly as possible. But yeah, should be a really fun day, especially the sort of later part of the day when we get to explore a completely new area. So enjoying the coffee, enjoying being able to relax a bit, but soon it's back to work, taking everything down and getting ready to get on the road.
When the sun hits our campsite, we instantly become a little bit lazier with our pack up, but we needed to get moving with a long drive ahead of us.
Well, I think it's right about 8 o'clock in the morning now, and yeah, weather's looking great once again. We've just had a nice shower down in the river, taken our little gas geyser and gas bottle and everything down and put the pump directly into the stream so we can shower as long as we want, have a nice hot shower, so we're feeling really fresh. And yeah, I think let's hit the road. Let's head through the Cederberg Mountains, and from there we'll go to our camping spot for tonight.
We make our way out of Moon River and onto the gravel road leading north into the Cederberg Conservancy. Today's drive takes us through many twists and turns as we drive through the mountains, eventually turning east at the town of Clan William and then into the Biedouw Valley, which will take us out of the mountains and into the dry interior. We will take the road into the Tankwa Karoo National Park and find camp. With so many unknowns ahead of us, we made sure to punish the well-graded roads to make up as much time as possible.
Well, here we are on the kind of technical border of the Cederberg Conservation Area. We've been in the Cederberg greater area for a while now, but now we're heading into the proper Cederberg. I've always wanted to come here. I've never really had the chance to drive right through the middle of this area, but as you can see, it is leopard country. The leopards that you get here are kind of a bit different to the leopards we get more where I live. These are sort of the mountain leopards that live in these sort of fynbos areas. They're quite a bit smaller, almost half the size of a kind of traditional leopard that you know. But they obviously feed on animals like dassies, of which there are plenty here, and maybe small rodents and stuff like that, small antelope like duiker and steenbokkies and stuff like that, whereas kind of the more classic leopard that lives in the savanna areas that you might know is often feeding on stuff like impala and springbuck and bigger animals. But either way, it's a leopard, beautiful animals and beautiful area, and looking forward to going through here.
The thing that I really like about the Cederberg is just the rock structures are so twisted. It almost looks like somebody's just taken big boulders off the mountain and just kind of scrumpled them up and thrown them, and they've just landed in the middle of nowhere. That's a weird way to describe it, but that's how it looks. There's a lot of mountains in South Africa, but that's kind of what makes the Cederberg unique. Cederberg Conservancy covers about 182,000 hectares of very remote mountain wilderness. It's a very popular area for hikers and climbers, and people like us who just want to get a breath of fresh air and be awed by the massive mountains all around us. There is one section of tar road on the pass leading down into the reserve where most of the hiking trails are, but this is soon replaced with gravel again in the valley. At the westernmost point of our route, we arrive at the Clan William Dam and head east back over the mountains en route to the Biedouw Valley turnoff. And this is where it suddenly starts to become very remote. No more graded roads, no cars, just nothing but small farms scattered around. We head on once again and prepare for a few more hours of rough roads. The further east we drive down the Biedouw Valley, the more remote it becomes, and we really start to question whether we've taken the right road or not.
Well, on the side of the road, we just saw a sign that said, yes, this is the right road. And funnily enough, we've been discussing how such a just random road in the middle of nowhere with no cars on it can be the main road going towards a national park like this. It just seems wrong. But obviously a lot of people have had the same concerns as us, and it seems we're on the right road. But yeah, this Biedouw Valley is very, very dry. It's completely different to the Cederberg, which is more of like a fynbos biome. This is almost like heading towards desert. Obviously we're just getting further away from the coast, and so not as much rain reaches this area, and it might be a bit greener in the winter, which is more sort of the wet season here, but I doubt it gets much greener than this, because we are kind of heading towards the desert. So yeah, it's cool to see some change of scenery, and I think we might stop quite soon for lunch if we can find a flat open space where we can just pull off the road and pop out the awning.
The bakkie may be dripping wet, but everything else here is bone dry. The river we've just crossed is the Olifants River, which forms the boundary between the Western Cape and the Northern Cape. We start to climb up a hill out of the valley, and looking back, we start to see nice views of the eastern slopes of the Cederberg Mountains. At this point it's around midday, and we're quite keen to stop for lunch. We don't want to just pull over anywhere though, we're looking for something interesting, and at the bottom of the hill we found our spot. Well, we've just pulled over for lunch, and we found a nice open salt pan looking area. Got some serious Vanjukpan vibes standing over here. We're going to try and make this quick because we don't have a lot of time left to get all the way to where we need to be. We've still got quite a long way to drive, but awnings come out just to get some shade, and we're going to do some crispy chicken wraps. So I'll leave Nicole in charge of that, and I'll fly the drone a bit. After being surrounded by massive walls of rock all day, it's a very strange feeling to look out and see huge plains of, well, nothing. It really feels like we're back in Namakwaland en route to the Orange River or something like that. With lunch gulped down, it's time to hit the road again. Because this area gets so little rain, the roads are in pretty good condition and we can really hit the gas. These roads are notorious for shredding tires though, with very sharp sheets of rock, destroying many sidewalls. It's moments like this that make me very grateful that I chose rugged BFGs. Tankwa Karoo is quite a famous shoot location for movies. Ever seen The Dark Tower?
or the giver. Yep, Tankwa Karoo.
Tankwa Karoo National Park. Woo! Thank goodness.
This is a pretty big park, and once we enter the main gate, we still have more than an hour to drive to get to our camp spot. No worries though, as there's plenty to see on the way. This place may seem uninhabitable, but it's amazing how many animals call this place home and have been able to adapt to the environment here. And animals aside, I love the fact that you can just see for miles around. There's always something to feast your eyes on. The road that leads to our camp spot is in very bad condition and definitely requires high clearance 4x4. This rules out many of the park visitors who show up in normal cars, but that's kind of the point. We want to get away from people and experience the emptiness that makes this place so special.
Well, after probably 8 hours of driving and probably a little bit over 400 kilometers, maybe a little bit under, finally arrived at our campsite in the middle of nowhere. No ablutions here, no water here, no electricity here, no signal here, but more importantly, there are no people here. We're probably the only people for, I don't know, for a very, very long way. And Nicole's just busy starting to put up the tent there, but look at that behind me. That view is going to be insane. The sun is going to set over there in the west, over the mountains and over this big plain in front of us. And it's going to be something quite special. So we're going to set up, we're going to get the camp chairs out, get ready to make a nice fire and just enjoy the isolation a bit.
We're just in time to experience the magic of the afternoon light over this massive expanse of nothing, and as we send the drone into the sky, I'm going to shut up and let you enjoy these magnificent scenes. It's my birthday tomorrow, which means that this is the last sunset that I'll be watching as a 26-year-old. Needless to say, it was a good one, right up there with the best I've ever seen, and tomorrow I'll be able to wake up a little bit older with the same views. I'm a very lucky man.
Wow, sun's just gone down. The view from this camp spot is absolutely surreal. If you don't mind roughing it, you don't mind not having a toilet or a shower or running water or any of that stuff, if you have all of that and you want a totally wild experience, you don't want to be around any other people, Steenkampshoek is a great place. The view from up here, I mean, we can see the whole Tankwa Karoo Valley in front of us. We can see the Cederberg Mountains behind that. Yeah, hundreds of kilometers. We can probably see the place where we camped last night actually. Words can't describe it. I think I'll let the drone footage and the time lapses and all that stuff speak for itself, but if you really want to experience this campsite costs it's almost nothing. I mean, your fuel to get here is multiple times what the campsite actually costs, and yeah, it's a beautiful experience. I would say you probably want to spend a few days here, because I mean, we took the whole day to drive here and we have to leave early tomorrow morning, and we feel like we're not really getting the full experience. There's 4x4 trails through the mountains here, there's mountain passes to check out, there's a lot of different things to see, so take the time to spend a few days here. It's definitely worth it.
In the next episode, we'll be waking up at this beautiful spot before beginning the long journey home, taking all the back roads through more mind-blowing locations, including Cederberg and camping overnight at Tankwa before heading home the next day via the Robinson Pass through much greener scenery. Subscribe to stay notified of these uploads, and thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.